Hello, I'm Matt Morginski. You may remember me as Mojo, the lead singer of the most popular Christian ska band ever, the OC Supertones. After the end of the band, I was faced with a choice. Pathetically look back at what was, or look forward to the future. It was then that I started MojoCo, a somewhat shady LLC which grew into a faceless megacorp with holdings in over 36 dictatorships. But I'm one of the lucky ones. Other lead singers of Christian ska bands have struggled, marking time and dead-end jobs until their next 10-day reunion tour, picking up spam calls in the hopes that it's a ska fandom podcast calling for an interview, or in some truly tragic instances, starting a podcast where they talk endlessly about things that happened 30 years ago that no one cared about even then. It doesn't have to be this way. For the price of a cup of coffee a day, you can help write a happy ending to these sad stories. Instead of starting idiotic podcasts, former singers of Christian ska bands can be retrained to be contributing members of society, painting dumpsters, bedazzling jeans, and even walking people's cats. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a world where the guy from Buck shares whatever he's been thinking about that week. It's too late for some, but if you give today, we can prevent another tragedy like Boot and Pickle Shop from happening to anyone else. Will you give?
Get yourself a pickle. Get yourself a boot. Joe and Razor, bigger than blue shop. Pickle time is happening. Pickle time. I go down to get some pickles. With your grandma and your kids. I go downtown. With your grandma and your kids. Boot time. Pickle and boot time. Don't be fickle, get your pickle cider, pop a nickel in your boots. Not a place of ill repute. Bring your grandma and your kids. Come for the pickles, stay for the squids. Stay for the squids. Boots. Put that pickle in your pants. Get some booze inside your hands. Put that pickle in your pants. Get some booze inside your hands. 1996, we start this.
Today's the first day of
Hit
record, so we can talk about mayonnaise.
Today's podcast is unofficially brought to you by Yingling.
How many have you had?
None yet. I put 2 in this Yeti tumbler that I had in the freezer. So it's like a A&W frosty mug. Here, listen, I'm going to take the first sip. Dang, that's good. Do you guys have Yingling in Virginia?
Yeah, we do. It's in fact, I bought a case of it at the Costco for $21
It's my favorite beer.
for my 13-year-old daughter's birthday party.
Oh,
Kids didn't get any, by the way. It was for the
wah,
adults.
wah, sad trombone.
But
Yeah,
there's still about 18 left.
oh, really? Nobody likes it?
No, it's just nobody drinks beer around here. I don't.
You know
Aaron
what?
does, I think.
I went almost like a year without beer and went down to Alabama and they had Yingling down
Yeah.
there. So I had a couple down there and I brought some cases back here. One for Heidi's dad, a case for my dad, a case for a buddy of mine at work who was asking about Yingling.
You're very excited about Yingling. Do they not have it in Michigan?
No, we don't have it in Michigan. So if
What?
we want it, no, we have to go down to Ohio. We got to go to Toledo and buy it. And my buddy, John Dower, rest in power. My buddy John, he used to bring me Yingling. I would Venmo him and then he would pack however many I asked, however many cases. He put it in the back of his car. And then before church, I'd be loading cases of beer And I attend the Salvation Army, and like one of the things of the Salvation Army is like we abstain from alcohol. And here I am out in the parking lot, like loading my car with beer, and he had like bootlegged it up here for me. But John Dower, rest in power, passed away a couple of years ago, and so I no longer have a bootlegger from Toledo.
I'm sorry.
So
Sorry, John, and
yeah,
sorry that you had to put up with Joe while you were alive,
yeah,
but now you're at peace.
yeah. And so he was the only person that I personally knew that passed from COVID.
Well, he did.
Yeah, he passed away from COVID. It was
So it's not a hoax.
not a
Is what you're
hoax.
saying.
No,
That's a bunch of bullshit, dude.
yeah, no, COVID was real. And what's that?
I'm still struggling to
Yeah,
put this together because that's not what our greatest president, Trump, had told me.
oh,
He told me it was a hoax and to drink some sort of decontaminant, some sort of bleach, which
Oh.
I do.
you're like, I do that regularly, and it hasn't cured me. So I knew that
Ew.
was false.
I'm like, I've
You're
been
like between
drinking
that and the paint chips.
You want me to drink an anesthetic, type of anesthetic, or some sort of cleansing
Anal,
agent?
What about an anal Gleason?
I've been
Anal
drinking those.
Gleason.
Anal Gleason? Yeah, I've been doing that.
Wasn't he on the Honeymooners?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jackie
he was.
Anal Gleason.
Yeah, Joe. Thank you. That was the segue, but you got to before me.
Yeah. So anyway, Yingling, we
Lit.
don't get it in Michigan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Limbo Shop. I'm your host here, Pete, and this is my good friend,
Diddy.
Diddy.
I'm Pete, and this is Diddy. Together we're
Pete
Pete Diddy.
P. Diddy. Hey. Hey. Joe, I just want to point this out to you.
Yeah.
This is the level of maniacal that you're dealing with. And I know it's sometimes too much.
You
Yeah.
got another pair?
Yeah. So the original ones were 3 to magnification, and it was too much. It was making me dizzy. So I got a new pair, 2s.
You got to send me the link because you got them off Amazon, didn't you?
Yeah.
Send me the link because I may have to purchase a pair just for giggles.
I think, like a lot of people are embarrassed that they have to wear readers.
Yeah.
I'm pushing it the other way. Like, let's put it to the forefront.
Yeah.
I am wearing
Proud.
like 2 television sets on my face.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
magnifying.
You literally
Really makes
have
me-
the panes of glass that are in each one of those look like the front of an aquarium.
Right. It magnifies these beautiful blue papers I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you got to send me that link because I need to buy a pair for Heidi's.
I'll do it right now. Oh,
The
for
Heidi.
Not
Yeah,
for
the
you.
Heidi. Right. Right.
Uh,
My new glasses I'm good with. I got these from Zenni Optical. They cost me an arm and a leg, but these I have no qualms, no complaints about my glasses anymore. And then I got prescription sunglasses, which oh my gosh, that was
it sounds awesome.
purchase of my lifetime. Second best purchase of my lifetime. First
Really?
best purchase of my life was a hot tub.
Yeah. My first best purchase was an Filipino wife, which I forgot to tell you about. I'm happily married.
Twice over.
Yeah. Her name is Christina
Mm-hmm.
Sanchez. Filipino.
The last name Sanchez.
Yeah. I mean, they were a colony of Spain. So sometimes you
Portugal.
mix cultures. No, Spain. Portugal is Brazil.
Oh, that's right.
What? And Portugal also had some places in Africa. Spain they gave up early.
Kiss
Took a
the
siesta.
rains down in Africa. Is that what it is? I kissed, I blessed.
I blessed. I blessed.
Rain down in Africa.
If you listen to Crystal Makes a Podcast, he talks to the guy who I can't remember his name, who wrote that song. He's
From
the
Toto?
son of, his name's Toto. He's the son of John Williams. Did you know that?
No. The guy from
Yeah.
Toto?
Yeah.
His dad's John Williams?
Yeah. It's kind of like like all those guys, their parents are famous. And they're like, yeah, we should start a band. And Toto's freaking knocked it out of the park. I mean, they got some bangers, but that one for sure.
I off the top of my head, I don't know any others than Africa.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. I had a cold, so I can't carry a tune, but that one and Rosanna.
Oh, yeah. Rosanna. I don't know the other one
there's
you
a couple
sang.
others.
Not that I know right off.
Hold the line. I think it's a better song than Africa. Musically. Lyrically, I think there's something magical about that song. The guy wrote it, so he went to like a parochial school. He went to like a Catholic school. And that was part of it. Like he was like, they would read these magazines about missionaries in Africa. And he's like, it just did something to me. I felt like I wanted to write a song from a perspective of one of those guys being in love. And so that's what that song is about. Like, it's like this guy
About a
who is
missionary in love?
a missionary in Africa, and he's talking about how much he loves this lady.
Who's African or another missionary?
No, I think it's another lady that he's like writing to, or he's trying to to woo. I don't think it's an African.
Here in the United States?
I mean, it's all hypothetical. I think it's all made up, but it's a cool idea. It's cool that he thought of that, because it does sound like it's a very longing song.
So,
It
you
is
know,
very nefarious. It's very, or not nefarious, nebulous. Nebulous is
Okay.
the word I was looking for. There you go.
Me and my simple brain, I don't know what that means.
It's very nebulous.
I'm just a caveman lawyer. I don't know what any of this means.
Phil Hartman,
Oh,
rest in power.
caveman lawyer. So
Mhm.
amazing. So speaking of music,
And
I'm going to harken back to Furnace Festival. And
Yeah, man.
here
You know-
is something, what?
Well, I listened to the episode, and I never talked to you about your actual set. You just talked about where you played and the other bands and how Tom was mean to you.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of whinging about
Whinging.
about nobody talking to me. That whole last podcast should just be called Joe whinging about nobody talking to him.
Joe, how can
But
you
I
say
had-
you're not
I
a
had
very
a
smart
great
man and you talk about whinging?
Yeah,
I don't know what that word is.
Whinging, complaining, just complaining. So
Smart.
it sounded like when I listened back to the podcast, it sounded like I had a horrible time, but I had a great time because of all like the fans and the pickle and boot shop fans, like the pickle peeps that
Yeah.
showed up and everything like that. And like they did like a meetup and all this stuff. And I was supposed to be at the meetup, but it was right after we played. And then I got stuck talking to people and then had to go to catering and then get back to the merch booth. And so I wasn't able to meet up, but yeah, all the pickle peeps like met up there and stuff like that. It was cool. It was a great time, an
Yeah.
absolute great time. And, but speaking of which, you know how late 90s, like early 2000s, everybody started like branching off styles of music to all these like ridiculous, like sub-labeled music.
Yeah.
Well, I think just when you thought you've heard it all, there's a band, I think I talked about them last week. There's a band called the Callous Dowboys.
Okay.
They consider themselves mathcore.
Yes. Okay.
MATH, mathcore.
Hey, this has been around since the 90s. Mathcore.
So I had to look up what mathcore is.
Yeah.
Like, why can't they just be hardcore?
Oh, it's
Why can't
cool
they
though,
just-
man.
But like,
Do you
like-
like it?
I enjoyed watching them live.
Uh-huh.
They have a female guitar player that like just goes bananas.
Yeah,
and she
no,
was
you
like-
have to shred to play it. It's
So she was fun to watch. Their bass player, he was fun to watch. Their lead singer, I guess he did okay. They have a violinist
okay.
in it. And so they were a really, really, really fun band to watch. And then they were the merch booth next to us. So we got to like
Okay.
chit chat with them and stuff like that. But when it's like, oh, you're a hardcore band? No, we're mathcore.
Yeah.
No, you're a hardcore band. Like,
But it's a division. It's like a side thing. It's nerds, but it's like music nerds who like metal, right?
yeah, because it's, from what I gather, it all has to do with time signature.
Yeah, it's like changing weird time signatures a lot.
Yeah, like from verse to chorus to bridge is like all these different time signatures.
Uh-huh. Which
Yeah.
is tough. Like writing, like trying to time yourself to sing like in a song that's in 7/8 or 5/8 is just, it's crazy.
And then to switch it
Yeah, I mean, like you can go for like
midstream.
6/8 or 3/4. People can do those because you hear, I don't know, maybe like 20% of the popular songs are like in this time signature.
Yeah.
It's doable, but like to switch to 7 is cuckoo. You're just like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. It's like I want to be in America, everything free in America. But then like switch from that to something else. 11. It's crazy.
Yeah. It was weird. So it made me, like, by looking them up, it made me start thinking about like all these like subcult. And do you like that? Do you like that there's all these sub genres?
No, I mean, yes,
Okay,
I
'cause-
do.
Oh,
I
okay.
do. I like it now. I feel like 20 years ago, I'd just be like, what the fuck? I think
Yeah.
now,
That's where I feel like
am.
I am.
yeah, no,
So I'm like, why can't you just be hardcore?
it doesn't
Like,
bother
It's
me.
the same
Like,
thing with like punk. It's like we all know like the general sound of punk, and if you fit under that umbrella, and like punk was like Devo, fell under, punk, and the Cars fell under punk, and certain things like that. And so you had Sex Pistols, and you had Gigi Allen, and then you had the Cars and Devo, all under, Blondie, all under the punk label.
yeah.
And it was just punk. But like now there's like, there's gutter punk, there's pop punk, it's like all
But
these
even then,
different.
it just didn't have names. Like you couldn't be like, Black Flag sounds exactly like the Cars. I think those people would get in a fight.
Oh, for sure. For
But,
sure.
like, now as an adult, I'm like, I love that. I can
It's
listen
all
to.
labeled.
No, I mean, I just like, I guess labeling helps me understand like what I'm getting into.
But here's what I
But I don't-
think. Here's what I think though. Yes, I understand what you're saying, that labeling helps you. Like if Black Flag and Blondie, if one was pop punk and one was gutter and like all these different things, or political punk and stuff like that. Like I get that. But nowadays I feel like every band who starts like with their own subgenre. You'll have like a band, and after their first practice, they're like, yeah, we're cornucopia metal. They'll like make up what they are. And so that's where it's like, who's making up these genres? Like the kids that are starting the bands?
But if it's a real thing, then like, I
Well, is
mean, if it's
mathcore a real thing?
oh, it's super
Or did
real.
someone like say, we're calling our, like, did the Callous
No.
Cowboys go,
I feel like
we're
some
mathcore?
No, I feel like people were like listening to these metal bands and they were like, this is not accessible. Like, it's not just like hard. It's like it's like music theory hard. It's not just heavy. It's like a music, like somebody with a master's in music theory would be listening to this and be like, oh my God, how did they do this?
Like if Will Hunting started a band.
Yeah, it is.
And
it
him
is
and Ben
true
Affleck.
math. It is truly like, they're like, how do you flip between 7/8 time to 11 back to 4/8? Like, how is that? Or 4/4? Do that. That's cool. I mean, if you can make it sound like it fits, it's brilliant.
I started realizing things were coming off the wheels back in the like 90s when like there was always like growing up there was metal.
Uh-huh.
Then there was thrash metal and like death metal. Then it was like metal, death metal,
Glam metal.
thrash metal, grindcore metal, like all. And I was just like, it all just sounds like
Glam,
metal. to
butt
me.
rock. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
glam.
yeah, but
Yeah.
there's like so many just splintered offspring of it. And then you get like bands that borrow from each other or borrow from other parts. I just think that's cool. What you said, like, does that bother me? 20 years ago, probably, yeah. But now I'm just like, this is interesting. I know who I am. It doesn't affect me. Like, my living is not made in music. I can definitely remember being upset, and I'm sure you can relate. Upset by how popular New Kids on the Block were.
Yeah,
Like-
I was in 7th grade.
But weren't you just like, what the crap, dude? This is not good music. Why is everybody so into this? Like, why is the world obsessed with this band? Like, feeling legitimately threatened, or like being in high school for me, like just being like legitimately threatened. Like, I want to make good music. I like good music. And why is everybody excited about this instead of what is good?
Yeah, for me, to answer that question. So for me, 7th grade, I didn't have my musical like awakening until
Uh-huh.
freshman year of high school. Freshman
Okay.
year of high school is where I heard Muddy Muddy Boss Tones
Yeah.
and realized there was this whole subculture of music that isn't played on the radio.
So what was that band for you, or how many bands can you name where you heard them and you were just like, what is wrong with everybody? Why are they so into Lady Gaga, or why is Britney Spears so popular? Like,
Man,
Lady
that's a-
Gaga's just biting off Madonna. Britney Spears, like, what is so good about her? Like, she's kind of hot, but her music's not that good. Like, I remember having these conversations in 5-Iron because I really appreciated the pop aesthetic of Britney Spears. One, I thought she was hot. So I'd be like, yeah, I'll get that album. But two, like, you can just, I would just approach it as like, I hear the production that is going into this. Like, there were 100 people writing the MIDI files and working the Pro Tools for each album just to like make it sound so layered and good. And I admire that. I thought that was interesting. The music, I can see it. Like, it's super just formulaic. It's like, okay, here it starts out and there's this beat and you're singing and there's a bass line and then you start throwing more stuff in and then there's chorus and it drops back out and then there's the verse builds up and then there's another chorus and then there's a bridge and then this super chorus where they throw the kitchen sink at it. Like, I get that, but that's also good pop songwriting and I appreciated it. But I remember having these conversations like with Andy where they would just be like, why do you listen to that? I like this part of it. I think it's also hooky, like just rhythm. Like it's hooky melodies, hooky rhythm. Lyrics may not be the best, but like there's something in that is catchy to everyone, and I appreciate that. So that's why I would listen to it. But for them, okay, so also I could see this. Like I remember people being really bummed out at how Madonna was in the 80s. Just she was just like selling everything with sex appeal, and they'd be like, come on, write a good song. But like I could also see she's the owner of the company. Like she's manipulating not just us into not liking her, but everybody else into liking her, and just slowly like throwing out sex appeal and becoming more and more sexualized. I feel like Madonna completely controlled that. And I think that's really interesting. And her music, like now that it's not a threat, now that you're not just like, what? This is going to destroy everything. There's not going to be any more good music. You're like, this is not bad. It's fun. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'll take what you asked. Who was that band that like
Yeah,
I realized
sorry.
was crap? No. That's okay. Because I'm going to go in a different direction with it.
Okay.
Similar to my later thoughts about Ministry, I had earlier those thoughts in music where at an early age, I just kind of had this epiphany that like, and this isn't anything earth shattering, people. I'm not about to say anything that's amazing, going to blow you away. But at an early age, I just kind of came to that conclusion that there's people that do things very, very well. I just don't like it, So I think I've always like looked through that lens, like Dave Matthews. People think Dave Matthews is amazing, that he plays great music, that all his songs are amazing and all this stuff. I just don't like it. Led Zeppelin. I just don't like it. There's a gajillion people around this earth that love Zeppelin. Absolutely love them. And I can look and I can say, Zeppelin, if obviously you sold that many albums, so many people, 12-year-olds wear your shirts, know your music.
Today.
You did something. Yeah, today. You did something and you did something well. I can't diss that. Like Michael Jordan. I always go back to Michael Jordan when I was a kid because we're here in Detroit. And the Pistons and Bulls had this big rivalry and everyone was like, Michael Jordan sucks. Well, Michael Jordan doesn't suck. You don't like him, but he doesn't suck. But we all said Jordan sucked. That's how I feel about music. There might just be stuff that you don't like, but if a billion people are listening to it and buying the album, they did something right. Which then, as I refined that way of thinking as I grew up, then you realize there's songwriters, there's bands, and there's entertainers. And so, Britney would be someone who's an entertainer. You could give her a song and she would take that song up on stage and she would wear her sequenced outfits and her cleavage and her whatever. And she would dominate that song and skyrocket that to a top 10. The song that sticks out for me is Christina Aguilera, the song Candyman. It's like a remake of an old song. And it played all the time on MTV because the video was her in skimpy outfits as like a USO chick or dancing at a sock hop in a short skirt. And so like an entertainer can take that song and then take it to the next level. You have songwriters who can write amazing songs, but they get up on stage and they play that song. No one's going out and buying their album. But then that song that guy wrote, Garth Brooks sings it and he puts that entertainment behind it and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Then you have like bands that are just bands. They're kids from a neighborhood. Say Blink 182. like just kids from a neighborhood that get together, start playing music, and 40 hits later, and 25 years later, this huge career, amazing songs, this amazing catalog, and they wrote their own stuff. They didn't have other people writing it. So I think over the years, I've come to realize, and if you're watching Lowlights or whatever, I just said all this like really moving my hands. I was talking with my hands a lot at the camera. But anyway, that's my thing is I think I never tell myself like this is garbage, like this music is garbage, because I don't think I want to be that close-minded when when it comes to music. It really did something to me when I heard that Johnny Cash, even a month before him passing away, was constantly listening to new music.
Yeah.
Constantly, hey, asking people, hey, can you get me these guys' albums? That he had his ear to the track of music. And it wasn't like, I'm Johnny Cash, I'm a legend, I do this right. He was always looking for the next up and comer. In his book, in the Johnny Cash autobiography, like when Bob Dylan hit the scene, Johnny Cash wanted to go to Bob Dylan instead of being like, oh, who's this new guy on stage? Like, who's going to make me obsolete? He wanted to be a part of that. He wanted to hear Bob Dylan. How do you write songs? How do you, all this different stuff. So I think for me, that's what I've always been. I've always been like, well, it's not my cup of tea, but I don't talk trash about it. The only things that I talk trash about, and I'll joke about like, Bee Gees and that stuff. Like I can't stand disco, but I can't stand disco as a genre.
Yeah.
But I think the only one that's ever come to mind that really bothered me, and to our listeners and stuff, this is going to sound really corny. The only one that ever really bothered me was Slipknot. And I think what bothered me about Slipknot was just in a time in my life, where I'm kind of an adult and I had kids and I had young kids and stuff. And there were a couple of kids that I knew personally that loved Slipknot. They loved Slipknot. And they were like telling me all about it, how like if you're in the Slipknot fan club, you're a maggot. And the one thing that bothered me is here you are, this band that has this gigantic reach that can reach all these fans. And you put out these albums that are hopelessness.
Yeah.
Just absolute hopelessness. And on top of that, you're calling your fans maggots. And it's this whole kind of like, we don't really care about you air. And then the kids buy your album, they listen to it. And even by the end of the album, it's just hopeless. And then you still love that band who, continues to put you almost as a fan down, maggots this and, blah, 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 blah. And then your next album comes out and it's complete hopelessness. Like there's never a turning point. There's never a like stagger to your feet, brush off from all the darkness around you. That's where I think at a time in my life that bothered me, that so many people loved Slipknot and they got nothing. They got nothing from them.
How do you feel about it now? I mean, are you like, geez, this is the end of music? Like, this is the worst?
No.
Like, to me, I'm the same way. Like, when I heard it, I was like, I don't like this at all. This is depressing. I'm worried about kids.
Yeah.
But, like, looking at it in hindsight, I do see that they created a space for, like, depressed people to hang out together.
Yeah.
And, like, that those people needed somebody else to be like, yeah, man, I'm depressed too. And they did that.
Yeah, they did. I just think like
probably not the best way to do it.
Yeah. And I think because my background of my band is faith-based. So you talk about, or you sing about the trials and tribulations of life, but then you offer hope. Like there's an answer to what we're going through. And I think that's what bothered me with Slipknot is you put out 5 albums of hopelessness and then you break up. And so it's like, these people who have followed you for years and years and years and continue to buy your stuff, like, I don't know. Like, it's like they led people down a broken road and then just left them there.
Yeah.
So that's what bothered me. But to answer your question, how do I feel now? I look back and I could see how I was probably in that mindset where people felt when Alice Cooper came out, when
Right.
Kiss came out, when, fill in the blank of whatever the next scary band is. I mean, it is what it is. And, they weren't Christian bands, so they don't have to play by those rules. And they don't, they don't have that to fall back on. Is like, well, we offer this hope, or I sing about this because I know this, they were out for money, like plain and simple, like they did their shtick and they did it very, very well. And since then I've been able to I've listened to some Slipknot songs over the years, and they're not as bad as like I originally thought. Like they do have some songs I'm like, oh, this is a pretty good song. But I can't tell you that I've probably listened to them in the last 5 years. Maybe a song comes on a shuffle on, Spotify or something like that every now and then. But
I think we have different playlists. I don't think I've ever listened to Slipknot. I mean, I've heard like bits and pieces and been like, I don't like it.
Yeah, if I was ever like, hey, Alexa, play a metal playlist.
They'd come up.
I'd be like, oh, this is pretty good. Alexa, who's this? And they'd be like, this is Slipknot.
Huh.
So I don't know. That's, yeah, I think that like, that's it. But I don't think I ever had that band that was just like made me so angry. Like, I can't believe people like this guy. Like, these people are ruining music, and this is what the masses like.
I felt like that, and I've heard other people talk like that, and I just feel that like me as an older gentleman, that is seriously faded. Like I can see the end of that band. It's not gonna last, and they're just people trying to make music. They're either trying to make money or get popular to make money.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what, it's so rock and roll. Just like, what are you doing that's exciting? This is our thing. We're crazy, and we paint our penises like clowns, and then we play with no pants on.
And we fart out melodies.
Yeah. I'm like, well,
They're called smelodies.
you're limiting your audience. Okay. But see where you can go with that. Let's try it. Like all those bands too that seem scary, they're usually the nicest people.
Well, that was Furnace Fest. That was Furnace Fest. I answered Daniel Rock, who was amazing. And we'll talk more about Furnace Fest on the Patreon, because we're at the end of our time right here. But that is one of the things that I answered in an interview was, here we are at Furnace Fest where people look like they're serial killers. The style of music that is there would be what I believe serial killers would write. But then the community themselves are like the nicest people. They get out all their aggression during the show. So when the show is done, everybody's like, after you. No, after you. Hey, buddy, you dropped your wallet. Like all sorts, just nice vibes.
When I punched you in the back of the head in the pit. Here it is.
But like everybody looks like a psychopath. And then here we're the ska band. We're the token ska band. And
angry.
Yeah, everybody, 98% of that festival was wearing all black every day.
Yeah.
And it's 86 degrees out, all black every day, hoods, all that stuff, long hair, just all sorts of piercing in faces and stuff like that, just looking like straight up serial killers. And
nicest people,
just salt of the earth people, whether they were believers or not, everybody there was so freaking nice. I loved it. And Heidi loved it. Heidi was the one that brought it up. I mean, she's a country girl, not only country, she's old school country. She
Uh-huh.
loves Waylon and Hank and George Strait and all of them. Like, that's her jam. And she was just like, I can't believe how nice these people are.
So it's like a recurring theme when we talk about the Christian music industry. But like, for me, that was my experience. It was like, the crazier, like scarier the band got, the nicer the people. And then like the more churchy and like
Super
clean
tones.
cut the band's got, the more, no, we're not making fun of the Supertones anymore.
Oh,
We
yeah.
love
yeah.
the Supertones.
Yeah.
We moved past that. That was our joke. That was the long
It was a
100,
total joke.
100 episode joke.
Total joke. It was a total joke, people.
Total joke. But like, you know, like the people who you would look at and be like, that looks like a nice young man. Those were the people you had to be afraid of. They
Yeah.
were the guys that were like shady, doing back alley deals, like taking
eating all
money
the
from
meat
bands.
out of a party sub.
Yeah, those fellas,
Yeah.
not the nicest.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's bring this to a close. Ladies and
Yep.
gents, thank you so much for listening. A little freebie. Sign up for the Patreon, $5 a month. Gets you a bunch more content and allows you to listen to all our old stuff. So we just celebrated our 100th podcast. We have probably 100 bonus, in there that you can go back and listen to as well. So do
at
that
least
if you
probably
would.
$1 million.
Yeah. There's 1 million in there.
Probably $1 million. You can
yeah.
do it for $5 a month, or
Yep.
as many dollars as you choose, which Joe and I will just squander on useless things like penis enlargement surgery.
Yeah. Or
What? Food.
or penis smalling. Smallerizing. Smallerizing surgery.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Smaller.
Piece of pizza.
Smallerizing.
Piece of pizza. All right. Let me go check on my kids.
Pickle and Boop Shop is a 501c3.